Welcome back to the deep dive. You've sent us quite a stack of sources, all sort of vibrating with anticipation. And today, yeah, we're diving into probably the most talked about digital event right now, the upcoming launch of the new on and passive platform, led by Ash Mufareh, of course.
The energy around this is just, it's massive. Our sources are describing this, global buzz from Dubai to London. And it's all fueled by some incredibly ambitious claims.
Oh, absolutely.
This isn't being positioned as just like a tech upgrade. It's framed as a huge turning point for the entire digital world, basically.
It really is. The source material doesn't pull any punches. They claim it's not an update, but a rebirth. The beginning of a new technological chapter, the stated goal, to completely redefine how humanity connects, earns, learns, evolves.
Yeah, that's the kind of rhetoric you just don't usually see with a software launch. It suggests they're not really trying to compete in the existing big tech space. It's more like they want to build a whole alternative structure.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack that vision. We need to get past the hyperbole a bit, look at the actual technology's promise, and analyze what the sources call the digital DNA of the New World Order. We've got to see if the architecture they're proposing can realistically support such a massive, almost destiny-driven claim.
Okay, so let's start maybe with the foundational philosophy behind it all.
Good idea. The vision, as Ash Mufareh lays it out, really centers on technology working for people, not the other way around. The core promise is about replacing system exploitation with fairness and user exhaustion with, well, true automation. It's consistently described as a fully unified ecosystem.
And what's interesting there is how that vision directly positions the platform as almost a moral solution, a response to the inequality in the current digital market. And it's not just one thing, it's a whole suite of specific AI-driven applications, all designed to sort of merge everything a user needs digitally.
Right. Can we quickly list what's in that suite? Because they all have that distinctive O branding.
Sure. So you've got communication tools like OConnect for conferencing and OMail, pretty standard stuff there. Then the really critical commerce and utility tools, OShop for e-commerce, Odesk for support, OTracker for analytics, and tracking user behavior, and then crucially, the financial and security pieces, OWallet and OVerify. Oh, and Odit, that's positioned as their media editing and creation tool, supposedly with AI enhancements for creators.
But the absolute key element, it seems, is the artificial intelligence that's woven into the fabric of the whole thing. The claim is this AI is built to understand emotion, precision, and purpose.
Okay, that phrase, that immediately raises a bit of a technical flag for me. I mean, advanced AI is certainly great at precision and targeted purpose, yeah. But claiming it understands emotion, that hints at effective computing or AI sophisticated enough to genuinely read and respond to user sentiment, which is, well, that's a massive technological leap if it's literal. We have to maintain some analytical distance here. Is this actual literal technology, or is it more like visionary language? Used to emphasize that the system is designed for deep personalization and adaptation, learning from every interaction.
It feels more like the latter, probably, but the language definitely wants you to believe in this idea of a living digital organism, a system that's constantly, fluidly evolving, not just running adaptive algorithms.
So if you connect that to the bigger picture, the goal is pretty clear. The architecture has to be intelligent right from the start, from the ground up, really, to support the sheer scale of this moral vision they have if the tech fails.
The mission fails, yeah. A humanitarian vision that big needs a flawless engine. So let's pivot now into the technical claims themselves. The source material uses really strong language, calling the architecture revolutionary. What are the specifics? What about performance and integration is supposed to make it so groundbreaking?
Well, the #1 technical promise seems to be AI-powered integration. The idea is complete, seamless synchronization, because every app in that O suite supposedly communicates natively. The system gets rid of all that administrative friction we all deal with. No multiple logins, no manual updates across different platforms. It all just works together in that unified environment.
Okay, that right there addresses a huge pain point. Businesses, entrepreneurs spend fortunes trying to stitch different SaaS products together. The source also highlights speed and reliability, powered by cloud tech and advanced optimization for lightning-fast performance.
Well, performance has to be non-negotiable if you're making these kinds of global claims. And furthermore, the source really emphasizes global connectivity and language-neutral usability across continents. They specifically mention India, Kenya, the US. That's crucial because it signals a real intent for worldwide consistency. making sure performance doesn't suddenly drop just because you're logging in from Nairobi instead of New York.
Right. And absolutely central to the whole operation is security. They claim unbreakable security, thanks to embedded features like O-Verify and OKYC. We should probably clarify what those are, because trust is foundational here.
Definitely. So O-Verify seems to be the system's inherent security layer for data protection. Standard stuff may be enhanced, but OKYC stands for O Know Your Customer. That's identity verification built right into the platform's core. In a system designed for global, real-time financial interaction, you absolutely need that integrated identity verification and data security up front. It establishes or aims to establish a verifiable, trustworthy foundation for every single user, every single transaction.
Okay, that security foundation leads us perfectly to maybe the most ambitious technical claim of all: infinite scalability. Most systems are built for current or near future capacity. What does the source even mean by built for forever?
Well, when a platform says it aims to outlive its creator and serve generations, that implies a really deeply flexible architectural design, probably using something like a decentralized approach or microservices, this AI-driven adaptability they talk about. It's meant to allow new products, new solutions to be added seamlessly without having to rebuild the whole core platform every time. The goal is clearly to avoid the kind of technical debt and, frankly, collapse that's plagued a lot of big, monolithic global platforms over the years.
Ah, okay. So rather than one giant system, it's like lots of small, interconnected, self-managing systems, ones that can be updated independently. That level of foresight, architecturally speaking, is certainly necessary if they genuinely expect millions of daily users across every sector imaginable.
Absolutely. It basically transforms the platform from just a piece of software into more of a dynamic infrastructure service, ready for future tools, ready for global traffic. It's a necessary design choice if you want to back up claims of a digital revolution.
Okay, let's move on then to how this technology gets applied, because the platform is explicitly pitched as a platform of inclusion, like a bridge between the dreamer and the doer. Who specifically is this ecosystem designed to empower?
The material breaks it down into four main groups. First, entrepreneurs. They can use the platform to automate marketing, manage finances, scale globally, all supposedly without needing deep technical expertise or those high-cost subscriptions you usually see. Second, creators. They're meant to use the AI-enhanced Odit and OConnect to edit media, broadcast live events, share content, ideally with better quality and reach.
Then you've got students and teachers. They benefit from that global connectivity, collaborating, teaching across continents in real time, supposedly simplifying global education.
And finally, businesses and governments. They can use those high-level security features we talked about, O-Verify, OKYC, to simplify verification processes, streamline official transactions, connect securely with clients or citizens. The message running through all this is pretty clear. The tech is meant to dissolve technical barriers for pretty much everyone.
Which brings us neatly to the financial heart of the system, what the source calls the most anticipated element: O-Wallet.
Right. O-Wallet is positioned to symbolize digital freedom. It promises fast transactions, crucially, no middlemen and no artificial limits. For verified members, and they specifically call out the founders and affiliates here, it allows them to send, receive, manage funds instantly, globally, and securely.
So this is much more than just like a simple payment app. It's positioned as the actual operational foundation for a new digital economy.
Precisely. The source frames this as the moment where AI and integrity coexist, built entirely on trust. Because identity and security through O-Verify are integrated and claimed to be unbreakable, transactions via O-Wallet are supposed to be inherently more trustworthy within that ecosystem. The ecosystem itself manages the economy, the security, the identity all under one roof, cutting out external banks, traditional regulatory friction.
That definitely explains why the level of security we discussed earlier is so critical. It enables the kind of radical financial freedom they're promising if you can't trust the identities.
You can't trust the wallet.
Exactly.
The technical integrity has to underpin the financial promise. It's all linked.
Now let's look at the narrative around the launch itself. The source material spends a lot of time on the preparation, the unseen work. They describe years of unseen work, including nights of code, testing, brainstorming, and spiritual alignment. That's a very specific, almost prophetic framing for a tech release.
It is. And it strategically adds this layer of destiny, doesn't it? When tech launches face delays, which many do, this kind of framing converts those hurdles into necessary steps towards some inevitable victory. The source actually claims past delays had divine timing and purpose. suggesting the system is now perfectly refined for its big moment.
And that feeds directly into the larger narrative they're building, this spirit of unity. The source claims the platform carries humanity within its code. It's designed not as some cold machine, but as a warm connector meant to unite and uplift people.
Yeah, and that's a really powerful marketing element, this vision of global collaboration. They paint this picture of integration where, Africa's ideas meet Asia's innovation, America's creativity meets Europe's engineering, all under one digital roof. The tech itself is pitched as an agent for dissolving global borders. It gives the launch a higher, almost humanitarian purpose.
And that higher purpose ties directly into the specific role of the founders that the source material mentions quite a bit.
Indeed. The founders are explicitly called stakeholders in the new digital civilization. The launch is presented as the fulfillment of their faith, their patience. They're told they aren't just early adopters, they're co-builders. And their position in this new global economy is about to be activated, which positions them as really crucial components for the platform's network effect, its growth.
And finally, wrapping up this narrative aspect, the portrayal of Ash Mufareh himself is central. He's styled as a digital reformer, a humanitarian thinker.
That image is absolutely essential for framing the mission. The source claims he built this platform, this bridge, specifically to counter the inequality of systems, the greed of corporations. So the whole vision is positioned as being born from compassion, aimed at changing humanity's digital destiny, not just maximizing profit. It ties the tech to this narrative of systemic change.
Okay, so let's zoom out now and just summarize the sheer scale of what's being claimed here. This isn't a local launch, it's global. The source material suggests it will literally transform nations, enabling Africa to create new jobs, Asia to power small businesses with affordable AI, Europe and America to revolutionize corporate efficiency.
Yeah, the ultimate claim is basically that this is an inflection point in history. The source concludes with this really grand retrospective statement that in years to come, the world will talk about this season, the season when technology found its heart and AI found its soul.
Wow. A tremendous promise of technological and spiritual alignment. It is hard to imagine a higher set of expectations placed on any new platform launch, ever maybe.
It really is. Which raises an important question, though, doesn't it? Something for you, the listener, to mull over. The source claims this launch is the fulfillment of prophecy, the birth of a new global economy, stating founders will say, "We were here when the new world began." Now, given the platform's long-term success has to rely on maintaining integrity, efficiency, global trust, if it's truly built on technical innovation and not, divine intervention, what practical governance-focused steps must a purely technological ecosystem like this take to actually fulfill the promise of uniting humanity and transforming mankind's destiny, while simultaneously avoiding the very corporate greed and systemic issues it claims to replace?
That is a powerful thought to consider as this. Well, this digital new world attempts to unfold. Thank you for helping us dive deep into the vision, the tech claims, the whole narrative around the new and passive platform today.
My pleasure. Always interesting stuff.
And thank you to listener for taking this deep dive with us. We'll catch you next time.
Deep dive. Today we're tackling something that's generating a lot of buzz, according to our sources. It's the new on-passive platform launch, led by Ash Mufareh.
Yeah, the materials we've looked at paint a picture of, well, pretty intense global anticipation. It's not being framed as just another tech release.
No, definitely not.
We're seeing mentions of excitement everywhere, from, Dubai and London to places like Nairobi and Hyderabad. It feels big.
Absolutely. And the central claim here is huge. The sources insist this isn't an update, it's a rebirth. The beginning of a new technological chapter, they call it.
Right. The goal seems to be nothing less than redefining how we all connect, earn, learn, even evolve using AI and automation in ways we haven't seen.
So our job today, as always, is to cut through that hype. We need to unpack the vision, look at the actual tech they're promising, and figure out what the source means by calling it the digital DNA of the New World Order.
Exactly. What's the substance behind these, frankly, revolutionary claims? That's what we need to dive into.
Okay, let's start with the why. The philosophy behind it all. The source material points to Ash Mufareh's dream, technology working for people. Flipping the script.
Flipping the script, how exactly?
Well, the idea is replacing what they see as exploitation and digital burnout with automation and fairness. That's the origin story for this unified ecosystem concept.
Ah, okay. And that unified ecosystem is where the complexity really kicks in, isn't it? Because it's not just one thing.
Not at all.
They list a whole suite of tools 8 major applications described as a single living system, all built on AI, apparently.
Right, we're talking O-Connect for video.
Yeah, O-Tracker, O-Desk, O-Mail,
O-Shop for e-commerce, Odit for media editing.
O-Wallet for finance, and Verify for security and identity. It's quite the list.
It really is. I mean, video conferencing, media editing, email, shopping, finance. Putting all of that under one digital roof seems incredibly ambitious. Why is that complexity the main pitch?
Well, the core claim seems to be that they've cracked the biggest problem online right now, data silos. The walled gardens that keep everything separate.
Okay.
They're saying the AI is the key differentiator here.
But everyone's talking AI these days. What makes this AI supposedly different, according to the source?
So the boldest claim is that it's AI that understands emotion, precision, and purpose. Now, translating that marketing speak,
Yeah, what does that mean technically?
it suggests, well, potentially very sophisticated sentiment analysis, deep machine learning driving a user interface that really adapts. The system is apparently designed to learn and grow with every single user interaction.
So more than just standard personalization.
Much more, according to them. It's meant to be inherently self-improving, tailored in a way that goes way beyond current algorithms.
Okay, that leads us nicely into the architecture itself. The source calls it revolutionary. Let's get into the technical nuts and bolts. What about this AI-powered integration?
Right, this seems to be the real meat of it. They're claiming completely seamless communication between all those different apps.
So no more juggling logins or manually moving data?
Exactly. Think about the hassle now of separate logins, trying to sync contacts, losing work when you switch tools. They claim that's all gone. Synchronization eliminates that friction.
Okay, so if I start, say, a video call in O-Connect, I could theoretically pull a clip from that straight into Odit for editing and then send an invoice using O-Wallet, all without leaving the platform or logging in again.
That's precisely the technical promise, yeah.
Yeah.
And that tight synchronization underpins their big claims about performance.
Speed and reliability.
Exactly. The documents talk about proprietary cloud tech, advanced optimization, all aiming for lightning-fast performance, which, frankly, it would need to be if they're targeting millions of daily users. Anything less would just collapse.
And that scale brings up the global connectivity challenge. How are they claiming to handle access and language barriers across different continents?
They really emphasize language-neutral usability and consistent access, whether you're logging in from, say, Kenya or the US or India. That points to a serious investment in global infrastructure, probably distributed servers, strong CDNs to make sure latency doesn't kill that instant sync promise.
And underpinning all of this tech, crucially, is security. Unbreakable security, they call it.
Which is absolutely non-negotiable, isn't it? Especially when you add a wallet, a financial component.
Definitely.
The source highlights embedded features like O-Verify and OKYC, Know Your Customer. Those are vital for proving identity, locking down data, and validating transactions.
So O-Verify and OKYC are the gatekeepers for O-Wallet's digital freedom.
Pretty much. They're the foundation of trust within the system. Without them, the whole financial side wouldn't work.
Okay, that security and integration talk brings us to maybe the most ambitious claim, built for forever. What does infinite scalability actually mean here? Is it just marketing spin for building something robust for now?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The source insists the architecture is fundamentally designed to evolve, to grow organically.
How?
Well, they claim the AI-driven adaptability allows new products and features to be added seamlessly. It's supposedly future-proof for new tools and massive user growth. They even say this foresight means the ecosystem could outlive its creator and serve generations to come.
But hang on, is there any real precedent for that? Even tech giants have to rebuild core systems periodically as technology changes.
Exactly, and that's why the claim is so bold. The sources imply a genuinely modular, AI-managed backend, one where the system itself handles updates and integrations, reducing human error and the usual code decay.
So they think they've solved the problem of digital infrastructure aging before they've even fully launched.
It's an incredibly aggressive claim, yes, suggesting kind of self-healing, self-evolving system.
Let's shift from the tech structure to the people, the power of inclusion. The source repeatedly frames this as a bridge for specific groups.
Yeah, it seems very targeted. For entrepreneurs, for instance, the promise is all about automation.
Automating what specifically?
Marketing, finance management, scaling globally. Basically, handling the tech complexity so the business owner doesn't have to, letting them focus purely on growth.
And what about creators? The source mentions them too.
For creators, it's about AI-enhanced tools like Audit, the editor, and OConnect working together smoothly. The idea is you can instantly share, edit professionally, broadcast live events, all within the one ecosystem.
A complete production pipeline.
That seems to be the goal, yeah. Like a one-stop shop for content creation and distribution.
And it doesn't stop there. It mentions education, even government use cases.
Right. For students and teachers, it promises real-time collaboration across continents, bridging those physical distances. And for businesses and governments, it's about simplifying verification, streamlining secure transactions, leveraging that built-in O-Verify and OKYC system.
Okay, this wide reach brings us back to what the source calls the most anticipated element, the financial piece, O-Wallet.
Ah, yes, O-Wallet. It's definitely positioned as the financial core, representing digital freedom.
What does that mean in practice?
Well, they promise fast, instant transactions, crucially, with no middlemen, and supposedly no geographical or arbitrary limits.
Whoa, no middleman. That's a big one. That sounds like they're aiming to bypass traditional banking and payment systems entirely.
It certainly implies that, doesn't it?
But how does the source address the massive legal and regulatory hurdles that come with global instant finance in a closed system? That's incredibly complex.
You're right. The material doesn't really deep dive into the regulatory compliance side. It leans very heavily on the integrated security, O-Verify, and OKYC.
So the security is the compliance, in a way.
In their framing, yes.
Yeah.
The source states that the ability for verified members, and it specifically mentions founders and affiliates, to send, receive, and manage funds instantly and globally relies entirely on that unbreakable identity layer. If the system verifies you, you're trusted, allowing funds to move freely within the ecosystem.
So the platform essentially tries to create its own trusted zone through its proprietary AI verification, building a kind of internal new digital economy based on that trust.
Precisely. They seem to be trying to eliminate the friction and mistrust of open financial systems by making their platform a verified closed loop.
Let's shift focus a bit to the narrative around the buildup. The sources talk about years of unseen work, nights of code, testing, brainstorming, and, interestingly, spiritual alignment. That's not your standard tech jargon.
No, it's not. And that framing seems deliberate. It positions the intense preparation as part of a larger, almost humanitarian mission.
Turning delays into divine timing.
Essentially, yes. It reframes past delays or setbacks not as problems, but as necessary steps, claiming every pause had divine timing and purpose. This elevates the whole project beyond just business.
Suggesting the final product isn't just technically sound, but somehow ethically or spiritually right.
That's the implication, aligned with the founders' deeper goals. And this focus on unity and spirit is supposedly embedded in the platform's core purpose, too.
Right. The source claims it carries humanity within its code, designed to unite and uplift.
Yeah, this is the global idealism kicking in. The vision is one digital space with no borders, no divisions. The source paints this picture of, Africa's ideas meet Asia's innovation, all under one digital roof.
It's a powerful narrative.
It is, and it provides the justification for those huge claims about scale and inclusion we talked about earlier.
And woven throughout this narrative are the founders. The source gives them a very specific, almost elevated role.
Absolutely. They're called stakeholders in the new digital civilization. Their role is presented as almost foundational.
Meaning?
According to the source, their patience and faith during the development are about to pay off. Their position in this emerging digital economy is set to be activated. They're not just users. They're framed as the initial architects and prime beneficiaries.
And Ash Mufareh himself, how is he portrayed in all this?
He's consistently styled as a kind of digital reformer, a humanitarian thinker. The narrative is that he built this platform specifically to fight against, quote, the inequality of systems and the greed of corporations.
So it's an origin story rooted in compassion and reform, rather than just market opportunity.
Exactly. It positions the entire OnPassive project not merely as a business venture, but as a necessary evolutionary step for mankind's digital future.
Okay, so wrapping up the overall promise here.
Yeah.
The scale of transformation they're claiming is genuinely global. It's about changing how entire nations operate digitally.
Yeah, whether it's Africa creating new jobs through the platform, Asia empowering small businesses with AI, or Europe and America supposedly revolutionizing corporate efficiency. The ambition covers every corner.
And the source material ends on a pretty grand note, doesn't it?
It really does, almost looking back from the future, suggesting that years from now, people will talk about this specific time as the moment technology found its heart and AI found its soul.
Wow, that's quite the statement.
Mm.
An incredibly ambitious vision, all resting on some extremely complex technical and, well, philosophical claims.
Indeed. And the source goes further, framing this launch as the fulfillment of prophecy, the actual birth of a new global economy. It says founders will be able to look back and say, we were here when the new world began.
Okay.
So if the platform's ultimate success is truly tied to achieving this profound sense of historical, almost divine alignment through technology, here's the question for you to think about. Beyond just speed and syncing data, what specific technical breakthrough would this platform need to introduce to genuinely fulfill that massive promise of uniting humanity and fundamentally transforming our collective destiny? What does technology finding its heart actually look like in code?
A very provocative question to end on. We'll certainly be watching to see how this vision unfolds in reality. Thanks for diving deep with us today.